If I was in a city like Auckland or trying to chase that rat race a bit, you would earn more, I guess. And then what do you do with that extra income? You probably do what we're doing right now. I'm grateful for so much stuff. Life's not all about just jumping in that rat race and going as far as you can. You've got to like sit back sometimes, watch 3 rods on the beach and just enjoy it.
All right, ladies and gents, you can't really beat this. An absolute pearl of a day. The big yellow's poking his nose out. I've got my pelagic rat shirt out because I've got fair skin, but I'm here with Bryn, the manager of Kaikōura's hunting and fishing. Heard a lot about you around the traps, mate, and you're a jack of all trades. What are we getting up to? Because I'm excited.
The goal today will be to go for a bit of an evening surf casting mission, and I thought we'd go and gather some fresh bait. So I'll go put the wetsuit on and have a mosey around and see if we can find anything. There's these red rock crabs, they just live in really, really shallow. We're going to be targeting rig, which is like a smooth hound shark, and known as a gummy shark, known as lemon fish if you see it in the supermarket. It's like the fish and chip shop staple. They're really specific feeders. So yeah, it might have sounded weird saying we're gathering crayfish or crabs for bait, but that's really all they feed on. If they feed on anything else, it's because there's a high competition for food in that area, and so they have to become sort of scavengers. Yeah. But 90% of the time it'll be crabs, prawns, crayfish for your best baits. I'll chuck the wetsuit on and go and have a look.
Thanks, mate. Do you need a hand or?
No, I should be sweet.
While Bryn's actually in the water looking for crabs for the fishing here tonight, I'm on shore looking for crayfish. I heard a bit of a wife's tale back in the day from one of the locals that after the earthquake here in Kaikōura, the tectonic plates actually changed the behaviour of some of the sea urchins and the fish life under the water, and it actually pushed some of the crayfish up onto shore, then becoming amphibious and actually living off the land. All these beautiful little patches of seaweed that have dried out when the tide goes in. It becomes an almost like a smorgasbord, an all-you-can-eat buffet for these crayfish. They come into here, they bury themselves in this thick nutrients that's all around them. What you're actually looking for here is a bit of an antennae, something that you see on your TV. It sort of sticks out, but obviously with time and change, they start to blend into with their surroundings, a bit like a chameleon really. And here you go, right here. We've got a beautiful crayfish here, obviously legal. As you can tell by the metamorphosis and how they've evolved, they've got a clip in their tail. Who would have thought crays would have gone from carnivore under the water to omnivore, eating this all this beautiful dry seaweed around them. It looks like you've had 12 rounds with Mike Tyson, but tough out there.
It was a bit tough out there. There's a lot of groundswell, and the visibility is absolute filth. Goal was for 10 crabs. We'll get 2 baits or 3 baits off most crabs. Ended up with 7.
Good size those as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So the bigger crabs will get more baits out of. Yeah. And then these smaller ones like this will just whack in half. They live in the slits of the reef, whereas crayfish will be more in caves or big underhangs. These are more just in the shallow slits.
And essentially that's what the death row meal for the rig tonight.
100%.
Where the hell are we fishing here tonight? Because we've got a great bird's eye view sort of from the
100%.
sides.
On the horizon line, but still amongst the sea there where the car park is. Yeah. We're going to go fish in front of that. So it's going to be protected a little bit from the swell. So if you look, that swell is just crashing in. Yeah. So we'll come more towards town and sneak out of that swell a bit.
Well, ladies and gents, there's a bit of time lapse since the last conversation, but we're here. This is where the workbench starts to be erected for the night. Just getting all the apparatus ready for what's going to be a big night, marinating the line in the brine and also setting up the fire. Heaps of driftwood around here. And Bryn's soon going to take me through how to actually rig up a rig to catch a rig. So it's going to be a lot of rig on rig action, a sloppy rig versus lemon shark rig. This blue rod here is the Okuma Soul Surf. So it is a 13'6" rod, and we're going to pair it up with the Okuma Flight Surf as well. Yeah. So these rods have an adjustable reel seat, so depending on whether you're a dwarf or whether you are Yao Ming, you can set up your reel base for whatever suits you. We've put a 40-pound shock leader on the reel. So what does that mean? So it acts kind of like a bungee cord, so because there's braid underneath, braid has no stretch or no give in it. Yeah. So when you go to give it an almighty cast, you put a lot of stress into a tiny little knot. Oh yeah, I know that from the past. Yeah, so
So what we're doing here is going to put that stress into that bungee cord, and then when you're fighting that fish as well, when the wave draws back and potentially the weight of that fish pulls back, the pressure goes on the stretchy line rather than the hard braid. Fantastic. And then you use your drag on top, obviously, to make sure things aren't overstressed.
You got a little ankle biter out there?
Yeah, so this is the smallest crab out of all the crabs that we went and gathered today. So what we're going to do is start with this being a whole bait. We've got a size 7 hook here and a 130 pound Suffolk's trace. And then what we do is you put the hook through the crab and out so that the barb is well exposed, because that rig's going to come in and try and hoof the whole lot. Then you get a bit of bait cotton, and then you've got to connect this up. So we'll start with just wrapping it. Otherwise, when you cast,
I don't think it'll break just break apart.
Yeah, you won't feed the fish, you'll feed the seagulls. So once it's on like that, you've got your hook well exposed.
Fantastic.
We'll hook it up to this rig here. I'll probably put a bit more bait cotton on it later on. So we've just got like a hairpin clip here. That clips onto our rig that we've just set up, and then we'll tie this to our main line. And we're fishing.
What kind of distance are we wanting on this?
You don't have to cast too far, but get it beyond the breakers for sure. So the breakers here are just in front of us.
Oh yeah. Oh, beautiful distance. And is there like a drop off over there? Like what kind of depths are we talking?
It does go gradual. It's probably only like 7 or 8 meters deep out there. So what we do is you let the sinker sit. You wind in slowly, and you want those sand grip sinkers to grip into the sand. And when they've done that, then you can stick your rod in your beach spike. And then you're fishing. So there we go. So to see how the line's starting to get tight. So that means we're bouncing that sinker along the bottom. We're just waiting for those grips to sink in. There we go. See that? Now it's gone tight. So you loosen your drag off.
How loose are we talking?
Just to stick it in the rod holder. And then you'd tighten it up to whatever tension you'd like to fight the fish at. So,
And you're not going to hear it screaming reels, eh? You're just going to be watching.
You're just going to be watching.
So, obviously this is going to rough up a few people here. Bryn, this crayfish, the bush cray that I found in the seaweed, this is gourmet, and you use it as bait. So, how do you explain that one?
Well, if you go to like the cheapest place in town to get a crayfish meal, you're probably $45 for half a crayfish with a few chips. But it's quite small. So you'd probably want to eat maybe 6 of them to fill you up. So what we're going to do is try and turn one of these into a reasonable feed that could potentially feed the whole family. So
and just like that, that's a reasonable explanation. It
is a bit of a risk because we might not catch anything. But if we do, you've turned just legal sized crayfish into potentially 8, 10, 12 dinners.
100%. Oh, here we go. Well, as you can see, Bryn has done a fantastic job of getting those fresh baits out there. We've got 4 rods actually marinating right now, but we thought we'll make a bit of a fire. Got some old Vinny from a couple of trips back that we're going to get on a nice cast iron pan. We've got the family here as well, a couple of naughty waters, and what a beautiful picturesque setting to enjoy dinner. Hey, welcome to Kaikōura.
Oi, 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 oi. Well, the rod bent over and I don't know what it might be. Oh yeah, that's a rig.
Yeah, get a boy. Bloody brilliant. That's what we're after, isn't it?
That's what we're after.
Target species. Can I grab this thing?
Yeah, mate. No, it's got no teeth. No spikes.
This is what you find in your local fish and chip shop.
Yep, so this is a lemon fish or gummy shark. Look at that, caught on the crab we caught earlier today. These are different from those spiny dogfish. They don't have any spines on their fins here. And they're all muscle, so if you can feel that, it feels really, really stiff. If we were going to harvest this fish, you'd trunk it straight away, so you'd icky it or you'd dispatch of it and you'd cut all the fins and stuff off. Do you want to put it on the fire? You want to cook it?
100%.
Cook it up?
Cooking that.
It's probably a nice one to keep rather than a big one anyway. This is quite a small model, but they do get a lot bigger.
The crayfish you guys saw me pull from the seaweed obviously this afternoon, just a little bit of a quarter of its tail, but that's fresh as can be. Actually makes me salivate myself.
We're ready to rip.
Okay, this is first time lucky, boys and girls. Oh, jeez.
No, that's good, mate, it's good.
Overlapping though?
Be fine, it'll be fine.
So, okay.
You feel like it's sticking?
Yeah, yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
So then you loosen your drag like this. So if you didn't loosen your drag, you'll just pull that sinker out.
Yeah.
And now you can walk back to your beach spike with it loose and then stick it in your rod holder. And then nip your drag back up to how you want to fight the fish. So you normally have it where a little bit tighter than that. Perfect. And then you give it a wind so that's, yep, tight.
Oh, we're on.
We're on. This is Grandma's recipe of butter and straight venison. It's beautiful.
That's how you prep for gourmet.
Whoa! What would you charge for this in a restaurant?
Mate, this is the money you can't buy experience. You know, good company, sun's just about to go down. Anton's not turning your ears off, you know, it's peace and quiet. You literally can't beat this. And grateful that you're showing us your backyard, mate.
Outstanding.
These little gems and these little secrets, this is what you live for, really, you know?
100%.
Yeah. Oh, it tastes like horse.
Oh.
It's good stuff. Give that a crack, horse. Couple days old. Tastes better when you're in the environment as well.
You watch all these things that people go through and they make stuff and you put it in your mouth and then they go, oh, it's so good. But that...
Yeah. You're good on Ramsay's of this world, you know, it's getting paid a lot of money. He's got to exaggerate.
He's got to exaggerate.
Bit of GSP,
Scrambled eggs, oh, they're awesome, but that is awesome.
Let's be honest, a lot of people have been, hey, Bryn, what's the recipe? It's margarine.
It's margarine and venison.
Yeah, margarine and venison.
And a bit of heat. Gentle, gentle. Oh. This is the rig, mate. Yeah, we've cut it into steaks.
Yeah.
And we'll put it on the grill with a bit of meadow lee.
Yeah, beautiful. Jeez, I tell you what, I don't have a thermometer, but I can tell you for free, $0 this thing is hot. It is really hot. Stand close enough, you get a tan. The compound effect, what have we got back?
I think we caught this on the crabs we caught today.
Yeah.
But you could see why it would be a benefit if you only had one crayfish to turn it into a rig. 100%. All of a sudden we're feeding everyone that's here.
And that was just a baby rig as well. To be honest, the time and effort you put into it, to find those crays, to find those crabs, for the good company and the setting right now, like I said, I've said it many times, it starts to sound like Donald Trump, but it's stunning, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Jeez. Yeah, this bait's good, I think.
If I was in a city like Auckland or trying to chase that rat race a bit, you would earn more, I guess. And then what do you do with that extra income? You probably do what we're doing right now. So I'm grateful for so much stuff, it's ridiculous. Life's not all about just jumping in that rat race and going as far as you can. You've got to like sit back sometimes and watch 3 rods on the beach and just enjoy it. Like, that's what it's all about. And the people around you and all that kind of stuff.
How good's that for the mental health, just having that like sort of balance of like
outdoors? Yeah, it's definitely a release. Like, we have quiet days in the shop, we have busy days in the shop. Sometimes we have days where you have an unreal amount of conversations with an unreal amount of people, and it's not how you're supposed to be wired. It drains you, and then you can sit here and you don't have to talk to anyone. You can just watch your rod tip, can unwind, and then you're ready for the next day.